The angle slam.
Okay.
That was rubbish.
Yeah. Well, it's just still a bit out of tune. Not out of tune, out of time, I think, with this campaign.
Yeah, it's ever so slight, so that's why I'm the only one that can do the thing.
Yeah. But otherwise, it'd be going fucking all over the place. Anyway, hello everyone.
Hello, we're here to do Survivor Series, and I will apologise now for it being a little bit later than we wanted it to be. It's been a bit of a stressful week for myself, so we've been having a bit of a difficult time. You don't really want to be sitting around talking about wrestling, especially when it's a kind of mid-range pay-per-view anyway, to be honest.
It's exactly on the par of average, isn't it?
Yeah, it's literally it's on the fence, isn't it?
Yeah, so, yeah, it's one of them. And yeah, we don't have to keep a schedule. We do it when we can, so here we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you want to do your subscription stuff?
Yeah, same as usual, guys. SoundCloud, Stitcher, Apple Music, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over the place. Just find us, like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any deaths.
No.
I will kind of still dedicate it to someone because it's me, so of course I'm going to do this, and it will reference the end of the show. But I'm dedicating it to the Undertaker's career.
Yeah. Okay. So, we'll go with that then.
Yeah, because we'll get to that later on.
yes, we will.
Yeah. Did you watch the pre-show?
No, I heard about it. Some kind of battle royale of underused talent, and then the Miz just kind of got one over on Mysterio, and that's all I hear.
Yeah, it was a kind of generic battle royal. It was okay. It wasn't like. The thing is with battle royals is they're never really bad because you've got that excitement of over the top rope and clusterfuck of people, but they can quickly become the same unless there's any like face-offs. And I think there might have been a face-off between. I'm trying to remember now. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different match. Yeah. But yeah, you had people like Ricochet and Shinsuke and Jeff Hardy in there. Fair enough, Jeff's going down the ladder because of his age and whatnot at this point in his career. But I was thinking, these guys are like some of the best wrestlers in the world, and they've been thrown on the pre-show battle royal.
Yeah, it's depressing.
But, yeah, what I saw was, I think it got down to Dominic, The Miz, and I can't remember who the last one was now. But Miz, it looked like he'd gone over the top rope, but right at the last second, he rolled back under, and Dominic baseball slid him out the ring. And you see the ref go, no, because he'd actually gone back in the ring and back under. But it was trying to make it look to the audience like he had been eliminated.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dominic, I think he did a lethal 619 to someone. I can't remember who it was now. Nailed it. Looked like he'd won. Miz slid back in, threw him over the top rope and whatnot. Which at the time I thought, is this kind of a tip of the cap of like, yeah, remember Miz tonight because he might be cashing in or something like that.
Maybe.
But also, I think it was more to start the momentum for Miz because it's kind of like, even though throwing the case on Miz was the right choice, he kind of won it with zero momentum. So it was like, okay, let's create the momentum now. Like he's a contender.
Plus also at the moment, no one believes that he's cashing in successfully, are they?
No, not with the champions we've got at the minute. No. So that was that. So we kicked off with the men's elimination match.
Yeah, I was surprised they kicked off with the men's one. But yeah, it was 5-on-5 Raw versus SmackDown. I mean, it was fine. I mean, it did what it needed to do. The one thing, one of the main things that stood out to me was the fact that Seth got himself eliminated straight away with this do your bit and everything, and sacrificed himself and got Bro kicked out. I don't mind it in the fact that it kind of works for his character, that he's slowly losing his way. He doesn't have anybody disciples anymore or anything like that. He doesn't know what he's doing. Plus, they're writing him off TV because, Becky's about to pop. So, I get that. That's fine. And it became quite apparent very, very quickly that Raw were going to get a clean sweep in this match. It really became apparent quite quickly because they pushed so much on Raw, the Team Raw, that they couldn't coexist. And I thought they're pushing on it so much that they're going to swerve and go the opposite way, and they're able to coexist and get the win. So, it did what it needed to do, I suppose, but it was nothing overly special, in my opinion.
No, it they say, traditional Survivor Series elimination match. This was traditional as it could get. Apart from the clean sweep from Raw, but this happened a couple of years ago. Last year NXT won, but besides that, I can't remember the last time SmackDown won any of these.
No.
I just thought this. But my brother made a good point of they used to have the scores up.
Yeah, this was something I was going to bring up. They didn't have the scores at all on this pay-per-view, which makes it obvious that it was all for nothing.
But it just proved that even WWE didn't give a shit.
No, it's literally why are we doing Survivor Series when you can't even bother to give a shit or even put a counter up so it feels like it means something? You literally let's just get this out of the way because we have to and then move on. It's what a waste of time and effort.
But my brother mentioned this, and I think you might even mention this as well, of I think it was in one of our last podcasts actually, of it should mean something if you're going to do it. And someone, I think it might have been, is either Cult or Late Wrestle Talk, one of those guys, there's a plug for them, was what if on the winning team, all those that survive get a title shot at the following pay-per-view?
This is the thing, though. They did it on Raw. They all had an argument and everything. The 5 of them in the ring and everything, with Adam Pearce, who is definitely a manager, and basically just did that exactly what you said. There's you guys are going to go against each other, and once we get the winners and everything, you'll go into a triple threat, and then whoever wins that will go against the WWE champ. So they gave you the option to do that. Why didn't they just do that before Survivor Series so that we knew if they win, whoever's left over gets a chance to go for a title? And it's just why do it after the fact instead of before? It's stupid.
It adds more layers. But I can think of 3 examples off the top of my head. You could have something like, it looks like Raw's going to... Because when I mean title shot at the next pay-per-view, I mean, depending on how many win, you could have a sole survivor, so it's literally 1-on-1 at the next pay-per-view. Or if there's 2, you've got a triple threat, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. Or, if it's a clean sweep, the champion's got to have a 6-pack challenge in the next pay-per-view. So you could have the element of, say it was like Roman Reigns... Say Roman Reigns was still champ, he got so egotistical that he's like, you know what, I'm not even going to be there that night. I'm not wrestling, or I've done my match and going. So you see Paul Heyman watching the Elimination match from backstage, and you see SmackDown have a clean sweep, and you just see the look of fucking concern on his face come over, Roman's got to go against 5 guys in the next pay-per-view. Shit.
Yeah.
Or it will have the element of is someone going to backstab the other because they don't want them to be in the title match?
There's all these stakes or possibilities that can happen if you say that this is the option before the match happens. If you say the title's on the line potentially before the match, it adds those stakes and flavour where you think anything could happen. But they did it after the fact. It just became a pointless match. And then we just gave us the option for a title at the end. It's why are we doing this? What a waste of time that is.
Another thing they could do, the example again in my head is depending who the champ is. In this example, say Ciampa's the champion, right? Gargano's on the team, he's kicking ass. Ciampa gets so concerned that he interferes in the match. The champion interferes, makes Gargano get eliminated. You've already planted the seeds for a WrestleMania match of Ciampa doesn't want to face Gargano. He sees him as a threat. Gargano can go onto the Royal Rumble and win it, and you've got Ciampa Gargano, and the storyline's already started last November. You can have elements like that. Or, let's see the thing. If you are the sole survivor, which means it's going to be 1-on-1 at the following pay-per-view, that means they can choose the stipulation. Yeah. Because it's TLC.
There's so many. There's the thing. At the end of the day, there are so many options, and they just chose the easy and stupid way out of not making any effort whatsoever, other than the team having bragging rights. And it's just well, no one cares about bragging rights. No one gives a shit about that because some of these people weren't even on that fucking brand a couple of months ago. It's so.
But even referencing the bragging rights, she didn't put the scores up.
Yeah, exactly. Can't even brag. At the end of the day, that match for me, it was alright, it's fine, it did what it needed to do, but I can't really remember anything specific as far as real good moments other than that set thing.
Yeah, the Seth thing's what stood out for me. I do remember now Kevin Owens Stunner Fest.
Yeah, I mean, the fun bit was, but the thing is, though, the problem is that it was bittersweet because as soon as he was stunnering everybody, I was like, he's out next. He's getting all his finisher in now, and which is exactly what happened. It's just like, well, it's too obvious, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, wasn't it the phenomenal forearm or something?
Yeah, forearm took him out. Which, in the day, if you're taking KO out, AJ's the one to do it. That's fine. That doesn't. It's just that I wish that KO was one of the last ones.
Yeah, and then Braun, after Seth was eliminated, they had their little huddle, and Braun did his Braun Express kind of thing. But yeah, the Seth thing, again, I understood from a non-kayfabe point of view, because I knew Seth was taking time off. It's kind of like, he sacrificed himself, bro kick, we're not going to see him for a while, so it leaves the audience in confusion. But I guarantee we're not going to get an answer for why he did it.
Probably not.
I don't think he's going to come back as the Messiah character.
No, but he can't now, can he? Because he hasn't got any disciples. You can't be a Messiah to people that don't give a shit.
No, he's probably just going to come back as not generic Seth Rollins, but a similar character to how he was in The Authority.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah,
I mean, I suppose the ending with Jay being the only one left in SmackDown, so that he tried his absolute best to win one for his brand and his family, and then obviously got caught out, and later on Reigns was pissed off because he didn't win, even though he couldn't have possibly won it. But yeah, I suppose that weaves a little bit more into their story, and it weaves in a little bit more later in the main event as well. So yeah, again, it did what it needed to do. It just, nothing really stands out as an amazing moment for me.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred I would have kept everything the same apart from Jay. Oh, sorry, hang on, I'm getting a phone call. Hang on. Sorry about that. I was getting a phone call during this whole thing. So, if Jay had eliminated 4 of them, to make you think, here we go, exactly, would make you believe, because there's his push. Hang on, sorry, fucking phone calls. Yeah, there's his push, and he falls at the last hurdle, and instead of Roman being the whole, oh wow, mate, you nearly had it, well done, but you just fell at the last hurdle. Still the exact same disappointment. Yeah. Of still couldn't get the job done. Yeah. But what's going on here? So, Team Raw, wipeout, generic kind of match. Yeah. Following match was the tag team match. Street Profits versus the New Day. Now this I would say was probably match of the night, I reckon. I agree. I was really happy with this match. Face versus face, doesn't always work. Same with heel versus heel doesn't always work, but in this rare case it worked perfectly. They built it up quite well with Big E during the segments building up to the pay-per-view. New Day coming out in the Gears of War. That's cool, yeah. Awesome. That looks so good. And the match was just really good. Loads of spots, loads of just awesome moments and fun moments, and just both teams being exactly what we expect them to be. It even kind of told a little bit of a story of New Day not necessarily being able to hit their moves as effectively without Big E as well, because they did Midnight Hour and they got a kick out too, which doesn't happen often. Both teams just real good spots, real good moments, and then to actually let the Street Profits take the win was definitely the right move, because it doesn't really damage the New Day. The Street Profits need some momentum, and they're so good. I mean, I still think that Ford has got one of, if not the best frog splash in the business. The height that he gets on it is just ridiculous. But overall, really enjoyed it. They embraced at the end, loads of respect showed and all this kind of stuff. Really enjoyed that. Yeah, they told everything they need to do. Really, I quite enjoyed it. Yeah. Street Profits got the win, and it was right. But what helped that victory was, I think that was Street Profits' best match to date. Probably. And I would still not take anything of the Street Profits, but I'd probably owe that to the New Day, because they probably carried them and said before the match, we'll make you get over. Because they showed through character stuff there was respect there. But I can pretty much guarantee there's respect backstage between the 4 of them as well. Yeah. I didn't really like the fact that Big E brought him out and then just fucked off. I just thought, well, what was the point? Yeah, really? I suppose so. But the whole, I don't mind it, because I feel like if he was on the apron or around the ringside, I'd be focusing on him a little bit, thinking, well, 1, will he get involved? 2, will he turn heel? Because there's been a lot of rumours that they may do that, which I don't think they will, but there's been rumours. So you're constantly spinning that through your head.
all the while you're not focusing on the match at hand if Big E's out there kind of causing distractions. So I'm kind of glad that he buggered off so we could focus on a core wrestling match.
Yeah, I mean, I bet that's why they actually did it. They're probably like, let's take him away to avoid any distraction.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, what they could have done, they could have kept him ringside but not get involved in the match. Have the match go exactly the same way, but then he enters the ring and he either starts staring down the Street Profits in a kind of aggressive way where you think, oh, is this it? And he maybe shakes their hand or something. Or the opposite, he starts looking down at the New Day like, what are you guys doing? What's going on here? Like, oh, there's a bit of tension rising here. But yeah, as far as the Frog Splash, my brother had asked me the other day, like, do you think his Frog Splash is better than Eddie's? I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. And then I saw the Frog Splash, I was like, well,
it might be. It might be. It's hard to kind of swallow that pill because Eddie's so awesome. He was such an amazing person, an amazing wrestler, and we all love him so much. But Montez Ford, the height is just ungodly.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything from Eddie, but I think we're comparing to Eddie because of that love and we miss him stigma, because obviously Eddie passed away. But Rob Van Dam's got the 5-star Frog Splash.
Yeah.
And Montez can maybe even beat that one as well. So yeah, it was a very solid match, and yeah, I'd agree it was probably match of the night as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Next was Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley.
This just went exactly the kind of way I expected it to go. Sami kind of was just a kind of cowardly heel trying to find ways to get Bobby DQ'd so he can technically win the match or whatever, and kind of getting away from him all the time, and eventually he got his comeuppance and he got tapped out by Lashley, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing more than that than Lashley being Lashley, Zayn being a coward, and obviously Lashley was going to win this one because they don't see anything in Sami Zayn at the moment. Even though he's Intercontinental Champion, they don't really see much in him other than this little cowardly heel that think he's being tactical. Was it? No, he's not. He just looks like a snivelling little git.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it was kind of entertaining to a degree because of the story that was told during the match. Obviously, yes, he's trying to, but as his heel character should, of this, snivelling little git, because that is his character right now, so I'm fine with it. I'm going to try any means necessary to win, and I know I can't beat Lashley, because that's the thing, he's a git, but he's a smart git.
Yeah.
So, I know I can't beat him, I'm going to try and get DQ'd. But the Hurt Business are there like, we know what you're doing. Yeah, but the problem was, it was the exact same moment told numerous times for the length of the match. It was just the same old stuff.
Yeah, like every minute or two.
Which was entertaining to a degree, and it was, I think they kind of had no other option really, because I think Sami got a small bit of offense in. I think Lashley hit the ring post or something. He tried for Helluva. Other than that, it was Sami trying to avoid him or Lashley dominating him.
Yeah.
Which, again, I think was still the right call because the United States Championship needs a bit more.
No, I mean, I don't necessarily say it was the wrong decision to make Lashley win because he's just an absolute force, and I think again the Hurt Business need it. They need that kind of momentum.
They're building up Lashley.
Yeah, exactly. They're building. That's absolutely fine. I have no qualms with the result. It's just how we got there. Really, it's just I don't know. I'm not a fan of Sami Zayn's snivelling coward kind of character. I know that he makes everything work because he does. He's Sami Zayn. He makes anything he's given to him work. It's just I'm really kind of hoping that we'll get back to his super duper baby face being awesome and being that amazing plucky underdog that we love. I just want to go back to that.
I think, once he drops the Intercontinental Championship, he might get a rematch still as the snivelling little shit, but after that I think they need to really think about, okay, let's turn you back.
Yeah.
Because his heel run's okay, but it's kind of it's done. It's done for now.
Yeah, it's had its day, isn't it? It's had its day.
Yeah. Maybe later down the line he can be heel, but it's time to turn back to face.
Yeah.
Next was the women's elimination match.
Yeah. This is the thing. Is like the match itself was good. It wasn't too bad. I quite enjoyed. I think I enjoyed it more than I did the men's.
Yes, because it was the best story.
Yeah, it was telling good stories, especially with the whole Lana thing. I mean, I'm kind of in and out with this Lana thing because I wanted a proper comeuppance thing for Nia, and we didn't really get that. We did a bit, but I mean, hopefully we'll get a bit more of it at some point where like Nia proper gets a comeuppance. But at the moment, we've only got bits of it. But yeah, Lana not being able to tag in at any point, I think that Nia just. I think she sold a little bit too much, but I get it because she's massive. Yeah. Shayna was fine. Belair got a decent showing. I think she got a decent showing, and although it's a bit of a weird one the way it ended with a double count out for Baszler and Belair, and that makes Lana the sole survivor, which is fun, and I didn't mind that because of Nia was pissed off and everything, and she was sole survivor. So it's technically Nia's fault that Lana was the sole survivor because she told her not to do anything. It's just that with Belair, it's just like, you know what I mean? Belair, she had a reasonable showing, but I wanted more of a showing, and I kind of wanted her to be the sole survivor of her team rather than it be the other way around. But I kind of get the storyline, so I just say I did enjoy it. But I just felt like I just wanted a bit more. That was all.
Yeah, I think I might put it slightly better than the men's.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly. Maybe because of the story told. Because, like I say, Lana at one point did get a tag in. And I didn't roll my eyes as such, but I was kind of like, okay, I get it. She's got the story. So I'm semi-invested to see where this goes. But I know Lana's not the best one in the ring at the minute. But what I saw, she's improved a lot. So she's only in there like maybe 90 seconds before she got tagged out. And that's when they all yelled at her like, stand at that step, don't you move. And she sold it so well of this kid that's told you can't play with
Yeah,
her.
she looked really upset. Like even with the promo just before they went out, all four of them, because they're all heels apart from Lana. Lana's the only face in the team. The other four standing around talking and prepping themselves ready for the match next, and Lana's just standing just out of their little circle, looking like really upset and everything. And like even Sarah, like my wife, she even looked and went, why am I feeling so bad for Lana? She makes me feel... I felt awful for her. It's just like she looks like she's been bullied out of her little friends group. It's awful.
The thing is, the fact that she felt the exact same way I did means they nailed this.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what... Well, Lana did. Because she had the little bottom lip going.
Yeah, she generally made me feel bad. Because if anybody that's had that kind of difficulty, like being bullied in high school or being thrown out of a friends group or feeling like you're the most unpopular one of a friends group... It really, really hits you. It hits you hard.
Just full on neglected. So, I was fine with the way it went. Again, having Belair last was great. At one point, I wanted her to go to town on two of them with her hair. I just thought, go whip crazy, go for it. The only thing I would have changed is have Nia get counted out, but Bianca slide back in. And be pretty exhausted because you would have eliminated one or two, or maybe even two or three within that period. And then start bragging, Lana slides in, rolls her up, gets the pin. Because at least then she's done something. At this point, it just felt a bit redundant.
Yeah, but at the expense of Belair. At the expense of Belair.
But the thing is, it wouldn't have really hurt Belair because she would have already eliminated two or three, and it would have just been a roll-up, not a full-on defeat.
Yeah. There was another thing as well that I quite liked, which is weird because normally I don't think I would, but it shows that hopefully they're putting more stock in Peyton Royce and the fact that she pinned Bayley. That Bayley was out first, and I was like, shit. I was like, and Peyton Royce was the one to pin her, and I was like, okay, so maybe this news about Vince being high on her backstage is genuine, unlike the rest of them. Because 9 times out of 10, when someone says Vince is high on someone, he's high on them for 2 weeks and then gives up.
Yeah. The thing with I can't even remember who else was on the Raw team. It was Nia, Shayna, Lana,
Peyton Royce, and Lacey Evans.
I thought she was SmackDown.
No.
SmackDown. Natalia.
Her and Peyton Royce are in a kind of unofficial team, aren't they? When they weren't admitted.
Yeah. So what? Natalia, Bayley,
Natalia, Bayley, the Riot Squad, both of them, and Bella.
Oh, yes. Yeah, right. So the thing is, what I'm expecting to happen, I don't know all of what happened on Raw, but for Nia to turn it around, she could just go, yeah, I'll have my thank you from you now, Lana, because the only reason you won, or the sole survivor, is that you did exactly what I told you to do. Yeah. Congrats to me, you listened to me.
Yeah, that is not what happened on Raw.
No, what I'm concerned about slightly is if they try and build this kind of Nia Jax versus Lana thing at Mania, where you just think, oh God, Lana's going to get crushed, possibly genuinely because of the way Nia works, am I really going to buy into Lana defeating Nia Jax? Because unless Lana becomes really, really fucking good before Mania and proper goes to town on Nia as a wrestling clinic, I'm just not going to buy it.
That's the thing. The thing with a plucky underdog is that they have to be a damn good wrestler. People like Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan and Ricochet and all this kind of stuff. When they're put against the big guys, you only believe that they have a chance of doing it if they're that freaking good. And she ain't.
The best way they can do it is during the story, if that's the way they want to go, during this build-up to Lana versus Nia, you start the dissension of Shayna versus Nia, and maybe when the ref's back's turned or is knocked down, Shayna fucking goes to town on Nia and Lana picks up the pieces.
Yeah.
And then maybe, I don't know, maybe it can lead to the championship. I don't know if Nia becomes Raw Women's Champion, or maybe it's something like it's something as simple as if Nia loses, she has to bow down and kiss Lana's feet, or Nia's gone for 6 months.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So there's potential there, and I knew they planted the seeds for some sort of interest at least. So
yeah, I suppose.
So that was okay. Next was Asuka Sasha.
Asuka Sasha. I mean,
slow build.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was when it kicked in. It took its time. And I was just like, this is a little bit slow. And then suddenly it was. And I was thinking, girls, come on, pick it up a little bit. And then suddenly they just picked it up. And they just went to town on each other. They were going nuts. There was great spots everywhere. They were just going really, really built it up well. To the end of it, I was really enjoying it. At least the last, I think it's about a 15-minute match. And I'd say at least the last 8 minutes, it really kicked into gear. And it ended up being quite fun. But I say at the beginning, I was kind of like, come on, girls, pick it up.
Yeah, it just, to be honest, it might have even just been the last 5 minutes. Because the problem going in was, this is a match we've seen so many times recently. So there's your first lack of investment. And unfortunately, like you say, with it starting off real slow, like arm bars and stuff, it's like, okay, on one side I can see that what they're trying to prove, look, we can wrestle, maybe even try to do a wrestling clinic here. But it's kind of like, we know the beast Asuka can be, we know the wrestler and character Sasha can be. The example how she was at Hell in a Cell. Let's see Hell in a Cell Sasha versus NXT Asuka, and just go to town. But it didn't. Again, it seemed kind of like they. I know this isn't probably the case, but they've probably gone, how long have we got? 20 minutes. Okay. It seemed like they're like, okay, let's just do slow rests and arm bars and a move here and there for the first 15 minutes, and then when the ref goes 5 minutes, girls, burst of energy. Yeah, so, again, I don't think they did that on purpose, but that's just how it felt. It just took so long to get going that when it did, it was kind of like probably you better look up from your phone kind of thing. It seems to be...
Yeah, I'm going to say, I did enjoy the bit where it did kick into gear. Sasha winning, I mean, fine.
The way it went was okay, with all those roll-ups.
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise roll-up, but it was one of those few roll-ups that it made sense, it was fine, because I'm the kind of person, I'm sick of seeing roll-ups all the time, but it needs to make sense, and this kind of made sense. It was because they were going back, I think they went back and forth in roll-ups, didn't they, and trying pins and covers and all this kind of stuff. They went through a succession, and then finally Sasha got it one on Asuka. So that makes sense. I don't mind that. I mean, it doesn't really damage Asuka that much, and I think because Sasha's a newer champion, she needs the rub.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because I was probably more Camp Asuka, But like I say, the victory itself was a cheeky victory. It was like, just couldn't get out of that roll-up pin. And I understand, I agree with you completely, Sasha probably did need it because she's a new champion. It is not good on a new champion to lose at the next pay-per-view. But at the same time, I sometimes feel like Asuka's being overlooked as the Raw Women's Champion.
Do you know what? I was thinking it the other day, actually. I think, like I said before, she's been one of the best things in this pandemic era. She really has. When she's been called upon, she's stepped up and done her job.
Yeah.
And it's becoming abundantly clear that they are just making her hold that title until Charlotte comes back.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate thing.
I'm telling you, the second that Charlotte comes back and she gets herself into a title picture, she wins it straight away. I'm telling you, it's happening.
You could. It probably will happen. Or you could try and make the redemption story of maybe at WrestleMania 37, you ask Charlotte again, and the whole storyline could be, right, Charlotte, you beat me, you beat the streak at WrestleMania 34. This is my redemption. Now, you can either give Asuka the redemption and she wins, or Charlotte does win the championship, but then you've got that underlying story that can go through months or maybe even years of Asuka can't beat Charlotte.
Yeah.
We've always spoke about those storylines of you get so behind them eventually of every time they lock horns, you're like, I really want her to beat her because she deserves this victory now. Like they did with Keith Lee and, was it Dragunov? Or what's his name? Is it Dragunov?
Dragunov?
No, but who's the guy who Keith Lee was having the North American...
Oh, God, he's... Yeah, that's it, Dojakovic. That's it, the one that's T-Bar now, or T-Bone, or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, sorry, Dragunov's in NXT UK, sorry. So the whole, you got behind, you loved Keith Lee, but it was that kind of thing of Dojakovic kind of deserves this. So, they need to do something with Asuka soon, because every time she comes out at a pay-per-view, it is okay, awesome, here comes Asuka, but then the next door is but what's she been doing recently?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She, as a champion, she's getting lost in the shuffle, and that shouldn't happen.
No, not at all.
So Sasha gets the victory. Next is Drew versus Roman.
Yeah, which is technically the main event, but we also have the extra segment at the end with the Undertaker, which we'll get to. But this is for wrestling purposes. This is the main event. And it's actually, out of all of them, it was the only one I was really looking forward to, because...
It was a close second to match of the night.
Yes, I think so as well. But as far as storyline concerned and the way they've built it, I was looking forward to it the most. Just the fact that Drew got the title back earlier on in the week, and it's... I know they're kind of rushing to this match, because I've read there's rumours that they might put this off until a Mania kind of thing. But they decided to rush and go for it now, and it did everything it needed to do, really. It got both of them over. Not that they really need to be. They had some great back and forth. They had, two big guys wrestling match kind of thing. It worked really well. It was great heel work from Reigns. I just really enjoyed this as kind of just a core big bloke kind of wrestling match. And then I was worried about how they were going to get the win out of this, because I looked at it and thought, well, Roman Reigns is obviously going to win this. I mean, I don't want Drew to lose, but it's obvious that Roman's winning this because obviously he's Vince's favourite thing, and he's on the biggest heel tear and the biggest thing in the company right now. So the way they did it, I actually really liked it. Again, it furthered more storylines with Reigns and Uso. With Uso coming in with a super kick, you get a low blow in there as well. Drew did get a Claymore, but at the end of the day, it was just too much. As soon as he was locked up in the guillotine thing, he just passed out, which is perfect because he didn't tap out, he didn't get pinned. He passed out because it was too much after being annihilated with the low blow and the super kick and all this kind of stuff, that it was just too much for him. And I don't mind that, and it kind of furthers the story with Uso and Reigns when they're at the top of the ramp at the end. They get that hug and everything. It looks like Uso redeemed himself, that kind of a thing. Yeah. So overall it was a great story told, really fun wrestling match, and I don't think anybody looks bad coming out the end of this.
No, it was one of them again where at the start a little bit of a slow burner because and I get the way a logic of a match goes, it has to be a build. You can't just throw it all out there at the start. But with the characters they were, I just thought, right, these, like say, they're two beasts of men. They're these two strong warriors clashing, and they seem to like, at first, let's see if we can out-wrestle each other. And it was like, okay, it's wrestling. I understand. That's what you're here to do. But your characters should be, let's kick the shit out of each other. But it started off as a wrestling match first, so it was kind of like, okay, not what I expected, but let's go. Like I say, there's so little began to like pump up the energy. Then obviously there's the whole through the commentator table spot, then the security barrier spear.
Yeah.
And then I think Drew kicked out of a spear in the ring first, which, shocked Roman to his core.
Yeah, I mean, that was good, though, because not many people kick out of a spear from Roman, and that, again, it makes Drew stay strong.
Yeah. Well, you were clamouring for Drew to hit that Claymore.
Oh, yeah. I was clamouring for it. I was plenty of times through the match thinking, are they actually going to give this to Drew? Because he's resisted a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way of keeping him strong, because it was that, for the first time since this heel turn thing, it was the first time you've seen Roman a little bit like, who the fuck is this guy? And, what's going on here? So, what I did hear Roman go, time for some new shit.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay. But then he did the whole ooh-ah thing, and I was like, to be fair, he didn't hit the move, but I thought, you're going for an old move. How is it new shit? You're going back to the tribal call thing, whatever, and a spear. But then Drew's hit you with a fucking Claymore anyway. So, yeah, the way it ended was perfect, like you say, with Drew not tapping out or getting pinned. He passed out, and all the interference. So it made Drew McIntyre, the character, look like a chump because of the Usos thing and the low blow and all that. But as far as the wrestler, it protected him. Because everyone's now watching going, well, he didn't really lose, they used dirty tactics.
Yeah.
I was kind of in two minds with the Uso-Roman thing at the top, because I was thinking Roman might just still go, I told you to go home.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't need your help.
I was generally thinking, like, I told you to go home, but I actually quite like the option they went for, because it kind of, it solidifies that Uso's sticking with him kind of thing, and he will do anything to please him. So,
Yeah. I'm fine with Uso sticking with him, but I just also thought the fact that Roman's kind of gave that whole, yeah, okay, come here, we're back, there's a happy family kind of shit. It almost is like he's acknowledging the fact that he needed Jay's help.
Yeah, but he didn't ask. Yeah, but the thing is that he didn't ask for it. He didn't ask for his help. He did it on his own back. But he's kind of, at the end of the day, like, because he didn't ask for his help, then it's not. It doesn't make Reigns look weak. You know what I mean?
No, but it's kind of like, he may not have asked for it, but it was almost like he acknowledged that without the distraction and without the super kick and the distraction to give him the low blow, he probably wouldn't have won it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't mind that, because that if people think that, then that only makes Drew look stronger, because it's just like he's one of the few people since Reigns has turned heel that you generally think maybe he'll pin Reigns. You know what I mean? And which is good. That's a good of a champion.
Yeah, I suppose it adds to the layout for Roman's character of like, this is maybe the one guy that Roman is pretty much confirming, like, I might have need help with this guy. So, but I understand, just to go with the fact that, they made Orton drop the belt, which seemed very out of the blue, considering he just won it, and put it on Drew. It might be something Orton did or Orton wants to do, I don't know. But as far as if they just wanted to see Drew Roman, this is the first time I kind of see their point of view of why they didn't save it for Mania. And the 3 points I can see is, they wrestled at WrestleMania only 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were very different characters, but it happened. Maybe they're thinking, look, we're in a situation with no audience where people are kind of tuning in and out of wrestling in a minute. Let's put this on the card. This is a pay-per-view buy-in point.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? I fucking forgot. I think it was just... It was one of them where it just needed to happen, I think, for both characters.
Yeah, I suppose, like I say, it boosted everybody in the match. So, yeah, I think it helped.
Yeah, because I don't think, no offense to Orton, I don't think anyone really wanted to see Roman.
We weren't that bothered. No, we really weren't that bothered. I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah, so yeah, it needed to be the Clash of the Titans kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So yeah, I think again it probably planted seeds to a future match down the line.
Yeah,
and maybe this next time it will be for a championship, not just champions clashing. So.
I mean, Drew could lose the WWE Championship at some point before Mania, and then he could get a shot at the Universal Championship for Mania. And maybe he's the guy to dethrone Reigns, and he can build on the whole, you didn't win by yourself, you couldn't do it, you needed help, you couldn't do it without anybody, and I'm going to prove it, I'm going to prove I can take you out.
Again, if you do Roman's character correctly, I've got no problem with Roman holding the championship to WrestleMania 38. By that point, there would have been another draft thing, more than likely. Well, 100%.
Yeah.
And Drew will, at that point, maybe go to the same show as Roman, win the Royal Rumble again, and it's Roman Drew for the championship. Roman finally drops the belt after a very lengthy reign, and Drew gets the pop he deserves.
Yeah, it's win-win. Like everybody's happy.
It's unfortunately long-term booking, which I know they're not a fan of, because I think they're in that whole thing of like, oh fuck, if someone gets injured or something unforeseen, like the COVID happens, we are fucked. It seems to just really rattle them that we better just do the storyline quick in case something happens. Like, you can't think that way. Otherwise, you haven't got a decent enough product.
Yeah.
So as far as points of the Raw versus SmackDown, I don't even know who won.
Raw won. SmackDown got 1 point.
Just the one?
Yeah, because it was Sasha Banks that got the win.
Yeah, I thought the Profits won SmackDown.
Oh yeah, Profits. Yeah, sorry, it's 2. Yeah, sorry.
4-2 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So Raw won, but they don't make you care.
No. So, The Undertaker.
Yeah, so his farewell thing, which I was surprised they put at the end, because I thought they put it just before the main event.
I'm not surprised, because it was kind of... It's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and I'm saying I'm not against it being the main thing. The only problem is, I think it was a little bit underwhelming for me. Yeah. I felt like it was a little bit of a hodgepodge of stuff just to kind of quickly say bye-bye to Taker, and it didn't give him what he deserved. I felt like he deserved more than that. Like, they started off introducing all these people that have been part of his career, like Kane and all the other people, and Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Triple H, Big Show, loads of people, Rikishi, loads of people from his little his Bone Street crew and everything. Yeah, which is great. That's fine. I thought, oh, good, this would be awesome. It'd be like a Ric Flair thing on Raw. When he retired, they just have this kind of thing, and maybe we'll get a glimpse into Mark Calloway in the ring for the first time ever. Yeah, and I was thinking, okay, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be good. Then it went to a video package once they were all out, and then as soon as it came back into the ring, they were all gone, except for Vince was now in the ring. It's some kind of little emotional promo with, honestly, the stupidest eyebrows I've ever seen in my life. How much plastic has he put on him lately? Like, I looked at him and goes, your eyes look ridiculous. And then it's awesome. It's awful. It's so bad, man. It's so distracting. Yeah. So he did that kind of speech thing, and then Taker did like the longest entrance probably in his career, to come out, do a quick promo on basically saying he's resting in peace, then he buggers off, and that is it. And I'll be honest, it was so underwhelming, and that it didn't do what it needed to do, where we had everybody in the ring talking about stuff and giving him homage and hugs and all this kind of stuff, and maybe a little bit of humanism out of Taker, because if he is retiring, that's it. We can do that now. And it didn't happen. Because of this, because of the way it went down, I'm still not convinced that he's retired. I don't know what it is, because they fooled me so many times, and the whole time was thinking to myself, what if like the Fiend comes out or something to that effect, and they go for one more, and I'm not going to believe it until it's been about 3 WrestleManias on the trot that he hasn't appeared. Then I'll believe it. But this just didn't seem like it was worthy of the Undertaker saying goodbye.
It wasn't worthy, but after sitting on it for a while, it's kind of like, right, number one, it was never going to be worthy in the Thunderdome.
No, like that's another thing that annoyed me. No crowds. Like, he couldn't even do it in front of crowds. Why would you do that?
Well, having that generic thank you, Taker, Undertaker chant come in, it felt very cheap.
Yeah, it did.
Very few. And I was thinking, okay, granted, if there was a live crowd there, we'd be hearing the exact same thing. But the fact is, they're not. So, and also just, having the legends come out and then they have the video package, which was pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean, that Metallica and everything, it shows some real cool spots and everything. No, the video packages and promos are never an issue with WWE. They always nail them every time. But it just took away from what we were meant to be seeing.
Yeah, the whole point of the legends going out is to give him the goodbye. I say, it was meant to be like the Ric Flair thing.
Yeah.
Not just go, here, bye. Someone put up a meme like, all right, who trolled Kane and told him to come in his ring gear?
Yeah, because no one else did.
Because, number one, when I thought Taker was going to come out and join them, I thought, right, would make sense for Kane to be in the gear then, that kind of brothers instruction thing. Even though at that point, I still wasn't sure if Taker was coming out in character or not. But the second was like, Kane, if you're going to come out in your gear, out of all nights, shouldn't you come out in your old school?
Yeah, I thought that. As soon as you came out, I was like, oh, I wish it was the old school. I wish it. Yeah, I thought that. So,
obviously, the legends were literally just there for the weekend behind the scenes, which we'll probably get a documentary of for saying bye to The Undertaker.
That's not the same, is it?
No, it's not. But Vince, his speech was, it was okay. I could tell, what I've heard from backstage now. The three things I've heard from what was happening backstage that night is Vince now realises, after 30 years, not just respect for Mark Calloway, but he has to let the character go. No one wants the character to go because he's arguably the greatest character in WWE history. But if the performer of the character can no longer perform, it has to go.
Yeah.
So what I've heard is Taker was telling everybody backstage that night, I'm done. And Vince, it's been told that Vince has no intention of calling Taker back for a wrestling match.
Okay.
Which I think he'd stick to because I've heard about it and I've seen it. The respect between those two is uncanny.
Yeah, it's fine if that is the case, and that's fine. Like if that means he's retired, then it's fine. It's just I feel like he would have gone out with more of a bang. Really, you know what I mean? It felt like a bit of a whimper for me.
Yeah, it did because granted Vince did his thing. The entrance started. I hated that whole Tesla music shit.
With the electric.
Yeah, the logo looked cool, the symbol looked cool, but I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
If anything, it would have been cooler to play a montage of his music from the start of 1990 to, through Rolling, to You're Gonna Pay, to Ain't No Grave, and all that stuff, all the way through his career. Just a quick montage, and there he is. Comes out in character. That platform rises so high at the ring.
He has to step down to the ring.
I was thinking, lower it. He can't get back in the fucking ring. What are you doing here? Comes in, says the shortest speech ever because he's maybe it's because he wanted to, or maybe it's because he was in character of literally 30 years of souls laying him to rest. My time to rest in peace. I did like the hologram of Paul Bearer.
Yeah, I mean that was a nice touch. I can't deny that.
And obviously in hindsight, of course, when he got to the end of the ramp, he had to do the fist up in the air, and that's it. But he did the whole on his knee thing for a long time.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, they've already done the hat and jacket thing at Mania 33, so they can't really copy that. But I thought, keep it on his knee, have the lights go out and the lightning bolt hit the ring. And when the lights come back on, or just one spotlight, it's an urn.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends.
I mean, to be honest, with the people that appeared as well, even if they couldn't do a load of things like speaking and talking and all that kind of stuff, even if they were all in a semicircle doing the knee to Taker, that would be enough. You know what I mean? But they just didn't even do that.
I will admit, right, I am only 99% sure. This is the most I've been sure that Taker's retired, not just because of what happened at Survivor Series, but everything he's done outside the ring, all these interviews.
I suppose I don't know. It's just something that tells me, what if they're doing it again? Because we've been told so many times.
the 1% of why I'm not 100% sure is I think when live crowds are back, he'll be sitting at home watching it, like maybe around WrestleMania 38, 39, and he would have been a few years rested. He's the type that I think he's still going to keep in shape. Who knows? He might even start helping at the performance center, which will mean the ring rust won't be there. And he'll sit there and he'll be watching Manias with a live crowd, and he'll just turn to Michelle and go, "I should have gone out in front of a live crowd."
Yeah.
So there's that possibility. I will admit there was only slight disappointment that when the copyright thing came up for Survivor Series, I didn't hear. I was like, because I thought, even though it's probably a bad idea, if it happens, I'm still going to be going, "Oh, fuck, here we go."
The thing that I thought maybe when the Fiend might appear was when he was on his knee. Because of how long he was on his knee for, I was thinking they're pausing for something here, and they didn't, obviously, but it ended up being the bearer thing. But for the length of the knee thing, I was like, what if this is it? What if the Fiend comes out now?
Why if they've done the lighting so well that after the hologram of Paul Bearer, as the hologram disappears, the Fiend's standing there, just staring at them like, holy shit. But hey-ho, not the case, which, again, that's more, to me, if they're not even doing this Fiend storyline builder, maybe this is it.
Yeah.
As far as getting the ovation he deserves, number one, I don't think he ever will. Because even with a live crowd, I think his career... Shit.
Someone's ringing him again. He's a popular boy tonight.
His career surpasses almost anything we've ever seen by anybody. And this is no disrespect to Hulk Hogan or Austin or Rock or anything like that. But if you look at it, Hogan was on top for, if we count WCW as well, almost 20 years. Austin was only on top for 6 years. Rock around a similar amount of time. 30 years.
Yeah. And this
is unbelievable.
This is why I felt like he should have got a bit more. I mean, maybe when he goes into the Hall of Fame and they do the class at WrestleMania, I think maybe he'll get it then because there'll be a crowd then to cheer him on. And if they gave him a little bit more time there to kind of just say goodbye properly, maybe have some more people come out and just, big hugs, all that kind of stuff, and knees and maybe all that kind of stuff, I don't know. But maybe there's a possibility there that they could just give us that little bit extra that we know he deserves.
Yeah, I did think the Hall of Fame is going to be the goodbye I want.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a live crowd at that point. Touch wood, fucking hell. You're going to have a live crowd. I'm pretty sure he'd be out of character for that. He'd be Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, as far as who'd induct him, in an ideal world, it would be Paul Bearer. But unfortunately, he can't. So it's either got to be Kane, Vince, or Paul Heyman, in my opinion.
I think it's going to be Vince. I think it will.
Or Triple H.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but I think Vince is probably. Vince doesn't. I don't think he's ever inducted anyone, has he?
No, he only inducted Austin.
That's the thing, and I think the only other exception he may make is Taker.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if it was up to Taker, he might choose Michelle, for all we know. But if I in a fantasy world, if I had the honour of inducting Taker, before he came out, right before, I'd be like, right, I want one or two things to happen, and he deserves this. I want to make Hall of Fame history and have the longest standing ovation that this Hall of Fame has ever seen, because there's any man in this Hall of Fame that deserves it, it's him. Mm-hmm. Almost like a full 10 minutes of them applauding him. Or everyone in that arena does the one knee thing. Which is a dorky thing to say, but the image alone.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Oh, God. Just the image alone of everyone getting down on one knee for him.
Yeah.
That's the respect he deserves. So, yes, very underwhelming farewell, but it looked like it is the farewell.
Yeah, probably. I guess we'll just have to see.
I mean, have you watched the Broken School Sessions, any of them yet?
No, not yet. Keep forgetting.
Part 2 is so much better, because part 1 was kind of the early stuff. Part 2 gets into the nitty-gritty. He talks about when he started on Brock Lesnar at UFC, when he was set on fire at Elimination Chamber, and oh god, that story's good. Right. But Yeah, so again, that's more to like, he must be doing if he's doing that. He's on Good Morning Britain, for God's sake, the other day. I was like, what the hell's going on?
It is weird, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yes, ratings.
Like I said, I think this was kind of a bang average, bang in the middle, kind of standard-ish pay-per-view. Considering it was one of the big four, it didn't feel like a big four. It felt like just one of your average B or C pay-per-views. There were some good stuff in it. Like I said, the main event was good. The tag match was great. The Taker thing had its emotional moments, but it still left a lot to be desired, unfortunately. And then everything else was kind of, it was there, and it was meh, or it was meh, you know what I mean? So, I think I'm probably going to give it, I can't give it more than 5. I think that's the highest I think I can give it.
Yeah, I think I'm literally going to, I was going to go with 5, but I'm going to inch with 5.5 because the second half of all the matches were very good. It was just there's a few matches where the first half weren't great. And that the other half point is, it's a personal thing, but it's because it's The Undertaker.
Yeah, I get that.
If it is the final farewell, despite how underwhelming it is, that Survivor Series is always going to be historic because of it.
Yeah.
So, it was a kind of, like you say, average pay-per-view, but historic with The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it then. Survivor Series 2020 is done and dusted in the books. I mean, TLC's in, 4 weeks?
Yeah, just under, I think it's the 20th of December.
Yeah, like so we'll hopefully get that. We'll get that in as well at some point. I think we may get 1 or 2 more podcasts, question-wise, in as well if we can. We'll see what happens and build up to Christmas and everything. Everybody's very busy, and with lockdown ending, people are probably going to go crazy getting Christmas presents and trying to see people or some shit like that. So we'll see.
I know we won't do podcast for him, but I'm doing a plug for WWE here. I probably shouldn't. But on, I think December 6th, they've got 2 shows at the same time on the network because they're doing a tribute to the troops and it's War Games as well.
Yeah, War Games. I mean, that might be one to maybe talk about.
Yeah, possibly. We don't usually do the takeovers.
No, we don't.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens to build up to Christmas.
Yeah. So
cool.
There you go.
Yeah, like and subscribe, and we'll be back hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Bye.